All right, what's up, y'all? It's Will here. So I do want to talk about the appointment of a creative director for DC Universe Online. I don't want to talk about him specifically. Obsidian did a whole video on that. If you want to go check that out, he kind of details the guy's history. Basically, he's got a long, extensive history of MMORPGs. So if nothing else, that's at least a good sign, right? Um, And one of the things Obsidian talked about is that we have not had a actual creative director over the last several years. We've kind of just been going through the motions, and that's pretty much been the biggest gripe from the community, myself included, is that all of these episodes really just feel the same. It's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's really just the same thing over and over. So hopefully we can get some actual direction because that's clearly what we've been lacking. DC has just been suspended and kind of left to hang, and it's really just being supported by the player base more than anything. But as time has gone on, I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that that player base has been dwindling. There's a lot of people that have just outright sold off their accounts. They're just not interested in playing right now. I don't recommend you guys do that because no matter how fit up you get with it, if you've played this game for years, you know you're going to come back. So some people do that. There is like a whole community of people that sell accounts, buy accounts. They get tired. They don't think they'll ever play again. They sell their account off. They decide they want to come back, and then they end up buying a whole new account. So my advice is just don't sell your account unless you really need the money. But as far as the creative director, yeah, he's got a long, extensive history of MMORPGs, a couple of decades there. So if you want to brush up on his history, learn more about him, like I said, Obsidian did post a video a couple of days ago, I think about 3 days ago. I finally got around to watching it just to kind of hear um, what this guy was about because I'm too lazy to go read it myself. And hey, that's why there's other YouTubers that cover this type of stuff, right? Which, to be honest, I didn't even want to watch it at first, not because I didn't want to watch Obsidian videos, because honestly, I just didn't care. I was feeling pretty fed up with the game myself at this point. Um, and so, like, any kind of news about DC was just not really anything I was looking forward to at this time. There's nothing that was gonna, break me out of that. And like right now, I'm still at the point where I really just kind of go through the motions. Like I'm not on a whole lot. I get on in the mornings and just do like the stabilizer thing, and then maybe later in the day I'll get on and I'll do like the alert or something, and that's pretty much it because I need absolutely nothing from this latest episode. I've got all the styles. I've got the elite styles, the regular style. I've got all of the new stuff that came out. I've got the material, as you can see here. I've got pretty much everything that you can want from this episode, excluding a couple of the Elite Plus beats, right? Which I have no desire to go and do that either. Um, unless the whole league gets on and they're like, hey, let's run Plus. And yeah, we'll do that struggle run. But I mean, for the most part, like, I'm just not interested um, in, like, keeping up with it because there's nothing to keep up with. There's nothing to do at this time. So why am I making this video is because we want to continue to provide some feedback. Um, maybe he'll jump into the Reddit because I know he was in Reddit um, for Star Trek, which is one of the games that he was a creative director for. Maybe we'll jump in there and we'll add some stuff too, even though I'm not big on Reddit at all. We can still shoot some ideas out. So that's kind of the point of this video, is to add a little bit of hope because, like I said, we still have the client update coming up, so that's still good news. There is still some longevity left in DC, and I'm hoping that this breathes some new life into it. But I am not really holding my breath for that. But nonetheless, we still love the game. We still want to support it, but we need a reason to support it. So let's spitball some ideas. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Let's just have a little bit of fun. We don't necessarily have to be on the game. Let me move my guy here. We don't necessarily have to be on the game to still enjoy the game as a community. We can talk about it. We can just, share our love and passion for the game, even if we are pretty frustrated with it at the moment. So, personally, like I said, I've been very vocal about needing something in between episodes um, to retain players, whether that is a fixed PvP, which, to be honest, I don't think that would do it. It might help, but we need something else. Can't be these seasonal events; they're not fun. Um, it needs to be something new, something fresh, right? We need something, some kind of event that's not necessarily an event, but a long running thing. Um, we need to have survival mode more often than every 2 years. Um, if you could do that every year, that would help. That would bring a lot of people back. I know a lot of people that will specifically come back just to play survival mode. They may be gone for 8, 9, 10 months. And then when survival mode comes out, they come back, they grind up, they get in there and they do survival mode. And then when survival mode is gone, they're gone again. So if we can have survival mode more often, that would really help retain a lot of players because that's a very challenging mode that a lot of people really love, and I can understand why they love it. It forces you to do mechanics. Um, you're kind of at the mercy of it. It's a fun, sweaty time, right? Let's get more survival mode in here. Stuff like that doesn't necessarily need to be survival mode. I would love to see it more, but we need more stuff like that. Yeah, we should have some more PvP, but let's not, you know, get carried away here. We're trying to be realistic. So stuff like that is what I would really like to see. If we want to retain players, we need to have something that is going to make them want to stay. Um, let's say one of the guys that I used to talk to back on the GameFAQs forums, like back in like 2013, bro, 2014. He had been gone for years. I didn't even like him back then. I had him on my ignore list. But when he came back, I seen him. I went ahead and, it's been years. I'm not holding a grudge. I chopped it up with them. We ran together a few times. He stuck around for, I think, one episode. And then he sent me a message on Discord saying he was getting bored and he was going to take off and did I want his materials and stuff like that. And I haven't seen him back on since, right? So the interest for players is there, but it's, to come back, but it's not there for them to stay. Because once you do everything in that episode, what else do you have to do? Like, we can go and we can grind feet, sure, but you only want to do that so often, you know. I don't even know what my skill points were on the last video I made, but as you guys can see, I'm sitting at 629 now. That's a pretty decent amount. I don't necessarily feel the need to run out and start grinding feats right now. Got zero reason to do it. Uh, I did jump on last night and do a USR spam, but still, we really need something between the episodes. We also need more fleshed out episodes. We need just more of the episodes. Like, I get it. They want to drip feed these episodes, and that's kind of how they extend them. What they do is they release the raid, the alert, either a solo or a duo. And then, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they will release some additional feats in those. They'll release the plus version of it, if there is going to be a plus version of the alert. Um, then, a few weeks later, they'll add a second bounty. A few weeks later, they'll add some new styles. And, this is how they do the episodes. They try to drag it out by drip feeding a few more things into it here and there. And that's not a sustainable model because by the time you release that stuff, people are no longer playing. They've left. They don't care. Um, like the only thing I didn't get from the vendor is like the new cow and stuff, which I have zero interest in getting anyways. Um, the only reason I would buy that is to sell it because it's not even worth any additional fees. So even if, like, I don't even know if I could sell it, but if I could, that would be the only reason I would buy it, so that I could sell it. So yeah, we need more fleshed out episodes, right? But again, outside of that, we need something to do in between episodes, and that's the main thing that I'm making this video for, is to talk about that. So like I said, something like survival mode, or just survival mode, more often, quarterly, or at least every 6 months would be fantastic. At minimum, once a year. Every 2 years is not cutting it. Shoot some ideas down below. Let's talk about it. Let's drum up some hype for the game here, okay? But I really hope they deliver on it. Now, as far as talking about it, I would really like to see what they do later on. I mean, obviously, this guy just got in, so it's going to be a while before we hear any kind of roadmap. I'm not expecting anything anytime soon, right? But I do hope we get an update in summer on what kind of plans they're laying out, or at least by fall. Realistically, I think that would be a good time to kind of give us a development update on the future moving forward. Maybe we'll even get a little bit of a heads up when by the time the client update comes, but I really doubt they're going to say too much at that time. It's not a whole lot of time to really give us any direction, especially if we stay true to saying that the client update for the next gen was going to happen in the first quarter. That's by the end of March. Okay, we are like midway through February, so we're getting pretty close to that time frame. I just really think people are overestimating what the game is going to look and feel like from the next gen client update. We're not going to be getting a DC that looks like it was made in Unreal Engine 5. This was still made from the PS3 era, so only so much can be done. Keep your expectations real. But yeah, that's it, guys. Just, we're trying to stir up some conversations here. We get some feedback out there and just talk about it. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys would really like to see. Maybe somebody's listening, maybe they're not. If nothing else, it's still fun to come together as a community and just talk about it. So yeah, shoot your ideas, suggestions, things you would like to see. I mean, I would love to see some mini games in here. Not the type of mini games that we got from the Titan event, right? Like the Homecoming event. Those aren't really the funnest, but like some cool mini games, we can do in the House of Legends. It's like a little room we can go into and, do something. I think we could do some stuff like that. That would be fun to engage players when they're just standing around, So that's what I got for you today, guys. We're just talking. I'll catch you next time. Willie out. Stay frosty. Peace.